TNA man, he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Hello, and welcome to yet another bonus episode of Down That Aisle. And as always, I'm joined by the Painkiller. And this week, we decided to select something that's taken over the nation.
It's taken over TNA.
Yep. Say his name and he will appear. I believe in who?
Joe Hendry.
Joe Hendry. So, I'll be honest, I didn't understand this phenomenon, as we'll call it, when it first started. I didn't know who the guy was. I had heard the song. I didn't even know he was a wrestler. I haven't watched TNA in years. Daniel didn't even really know what TNA was. And then, you know, I would see like wrestling podcasts and stuff on YouTube. I don't even know if you call them podcasts anymore. But people's little shows on YouTube, and they talked about Joe Hendry. And then he shows up in the crossover Battle Royal. They had a couple TNA stars on NXT, right? And no, not yet. So, yeah, and NXT is doing a pretty cool thing with TNA, where they're doing.
Like Wendy Chu.
What about Wendy Chu?
When she comes out in red.
Yeah, but that has not. Okay. Yeah. Right.
The face thing, I think, is terrifying.
Oh, okay. Wendy Chu's face paint is terrifying. It is. But we're talking about the Battle Royal and NXT doing a pretty cool crossover thing with TNA. WWE has been working with TNA over the past few months. They had Jordan Grace at the Royal Rumble.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And then they had the NXT that Daniel's doing the Joe Hendry thing. I think when I say the Joe Hendry thing, we all know what that means at this point. And then, so then they had a Battle Royal on NXT to find who the number one contender was going to be. And it was Frankie Kazarian from TNA, and also Joe Hendry, and he made his appearance. And I tell you, man, it was quite the sight. And then yeah, and you didn't even know who he was, right? But he stuck out to you, and that's pretty cool to see things like that. Daniel didn't even know who he was, and he stuck out to him. And since that moment, Daniel's been a fan of Joe Hendry, and now he's kind of a regular on NXT, so we can see him every week. But another cool thing about it is Nathaniel has gained some interest in TNA. Now, I don't know where TNA airs right now, but we have a Samsung TV, a Samsung Smart TV, and it comes with a few like channels that it has locked into it, and one of them is like the TNA channel. So we can watch TNA whenever we want. It's just that with that channel, nothing is in order. It's just kind of, hey, there might be an Impact from 2009 right now, and then the next thing might be Bound for Glory 2017. So yeah, anything else you want to say about Joe Hendry? You think he's gonna win a title in NXT maybe, or?
I think he's gonna be a 2025 Royal Rumble and the draft.
Oh, you think he's gonna be in the Rumble?
Yeah, in the draft.
And the next draft? He could be in the Royal Rumble. I think, you know what? That's pretty good. You know what? Joe Hendry is number one or number two. Really does make a good Royal Rumble entrance. Book it. I say book it.
Yeah, book Joe Hendry.
Yep. You have whoever's up there. They tend to like to have a pretty big surprise in those first couple, and Joe Hendry coming out as number two would be a big surprise. Yeah, that was pretty. You like that, huh?
Yeah. Also, Jordan Grace, who fighted Naomi for TNA Knockouts Only Championship.
Yeah. See, he's learned about TNA through this connection, and I think that is something that WWE might not have realized, like that. Some people have gained a lot of interest in TNA now.
Also, if you want some Robux, down low.
Roblox has nothing to do with what we're talking about. He just wants to end the episode so he can go back to playing Roblox. Daddy kind of took him away from it. So come here, we're gonna close it out. And in the closeout, what do you want to say about Joe Hendry?
Well, I think that his character was awesome.
Yeah.
When Zack Stevens said,
How about
Joe
this?
Hendry,
How about this? We'll close it out with, do you believe in Joe Hendry?